Thompson.
We've talked a lot about ways that we could work with Missouri's higher education, but a lot of the foundations of that higher education system happen before students reach college when they're going through the K through 12 systems. And we've kind of addressed some of maybe the more prominent programs with some of the school districts in Missouri. My question is, what would each of you do to strengthen K through 12 public education?
Well, the number one thing that has happened to K-12 education, why you see so much immorality, and you have kids in kindergarten that are cussing teachers and all kinds of things like that. And it's been going on incrementally for the last few decades because we in 1962-63 decided to take prayer and scripture out of the schools, which was there for hundreds of years. And we instituted in the minds of people a lie called the separation of church and state. Our children will start understanding, start having more knowledge and wisdom when we reinstitute God as that foundation of their education. That's got to be first, or our children will continue to suffer. Right now, our system is going backwards, and right after they took prayer and scripture out of school for 17 years, never had there been a 2-year fluctuation in our education. There were 17 years we went down. And it only happened when they, instead of going to God, they went to the government and said to fix it. So the government said, okay, here's an A. They took and lowered us down. And as a result, more kids made A's, and the parents were happy again. We've got to institute the only thing that's going to take this country back for our children. Our children are at risk.
Kenny Helshoff.
Previous administration, money was being withheld from public education K through 12 every single year. Over the last 3 years, now 4 years, money has been added to public education, and so over the last 4 years, over $1 billion have been added through the funding formula for K through 12. Actually, we should think of it not K through 12 as P through 20. That is preschool through postgraduate work. But especially we have challenges in our school districts right now across the state in the area of math and science. Our 8th graders are 32nd in the country in math scores. 4 out of 10 high school graduates are not proficient in math for the college entrance exam. Did you know that we graduated in the entire state of Missouri last year 1 high school physics teacher? And he took a job in California. I put forward a plan in addition to increased funding each year. There's more than that. We have to focus again on accountability, but specifically on this issue of math and science. We put forward a proposal to help hire and incentives for 1,500 new math and science teachers for every school district across the state. 300 a year. We can do it in a fiscally prudent manner to make sure that we meet our priorities, but at the same time see this gaping need and find a solution, an innovative solution to addressing that need.
Andy Finkenstadt.
Education, like any other service, is best provided by a free market, achieving greater quality and efficiency with more diversity of choice. Schools should be managed locally to achieve greater accountability and parental involvement. Recognizing that the education of children is inextricably linked to moral values, we would return authority to parents to determine the education of their children without interference from government. In particular, parents would have control of and responsibility for all funds expended for their children's education. Regarding math and science, when I was a bright old kid of about 6 years old, my dad was at Purdue University, and I remember sitting down in front of the computer terminal, learning the basic computer language, and writing a lunar lander module simulator. I was a geek back then, and still am now. My wife is a former teacher. She's actually now a secretary for United Methodist Church here in Missouri. And her comment when I heard about the program for math and science teachers, new ones, was, what about the old ones? And why should we not incentivize them to stick around in Missouri instead of going off, say, to California?
Jay Nixon.
I'm a product of the public schools from kindergarten through law school. My wife's father was the first commissioner of education of the state of Missouri from 1945 to 1971. Our kids are completely educated in the public schools. I believe we face real challenges, though. Our graduation rates, under the policy embraced by the current administration, has actually given a smaller percentage of our state budget to education. They rewrote the foundation formula and took the number for fully funded down so that they could grade themselves on a curve to get the A they wanted. With a smaller percentage of your budget spent that way, it's hard for us to meet the obligations we have. Education is the key to success. The things we need to do is make sure we have healthy kids starting school, draw down those federal dollars, make sure those health programs work. Have a pre-kindergarten program that makes a difference. And we need to reinvent the senior year of high school so that every kid in the state of Missouri has the opportunity in their senior year of high school, if they're going on to college, to get one semester's worth of AP credit. And kids that are going on to VOTEC programs or on to work, we need to draw a connector right there. We need to refund, once again, alternative schools so that teachers are in charge of their classrooms. So if a kid acts up, if they send them out, they don't go to a street corner, they go to a more disciplined program, and they want back in that classroom, and they'll follow that teacher's orders once again. And we have to say no to vouchers. None of these plans will work if we take public money and give it to private schools. Whichever way you call it, that's the policy we're seeing now. That will not work. We're a low-tax state, a limited resource state, and it's important we stand up to these voucher schemes.